friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two friends just made a podcast. It's called Culture Bucket. Two friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two friends just made a podcast. Culture Bucket, Georgia and Alex.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the greatest podcast in the world, Culture Bucket, episode number 67, our 2022 performance review, actors that have been impressing us, etc., discussed today in today's episode, along with plenty of culture catch-up. And we'll have a little look over how our Oscar predictions from last time went. That'll be fun to discuss. So, how are you today, Alex?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you very much. Better than last week. Sorry we missed an episode, but I was sick. But now I'm slightly better, so I'm good. How are you doing, George?
Pretty good. Pretty tired and busy and manic at the moment, but hopefully gonna rest soon, so it's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, you've got holidays soon. That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I'm excited. I cannot wait. Well then, shall we do some culture catch-up?
Yeah, definitely.
This is Culture Catch-Up time. This is where we talk about what we've watched, what we've read, what we've listened to, and probably some other stuff. Culture Catch-Up time.
So I'm going to start today. So I'm going to talk about 3 films, and I have an album recommendation.
Nice.
Yeah. So after realizing that I hadn't watched any films with Andrew Garfield, I thought, I'll give Andrew Garfield films a go. It's weird because it's one of those actors that you see everywhere, but I don't know why I haven't watched any of his films. So I watched Oscar. No, it's not an Oscar nominated. I watched the film The Eyes of Tammy Fay, 2021 film.
Oh yeah.
Yep, with Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield. And it's a biopic which is based on a documentary actually by the same name, which I didn't know, and it tells the story of Tammy Faye Baker, which is played by Jessica Chastain, and from when she was a kid, when she wasn't allowed in a church because she was a daughter of divorced parents, growing up and meeting this Jim Baker, played by Andrew Garfield, and them starting a television church, and controversial television church where they
most of them are,
yes, and the rise and the fall of this television church couple, and the corruption that these television churches were in. I thought it was a really interesting film because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't realize that television churches were a thing. I guess in America anything goes. I don't know if you have them in England.
Yeah, we don't really have it in the UK particularly.
Yeah, it's an interesting film and really interesting to watch. Jessica Chastain won an Oscar for her portrayal of Tammy Faye, and I think she deserved it in the category she was in, with the actors she was with, and I thought it was great. Great makeup in the film and an interesting tale, and. The film is called The Eyes of Tammy Fay, and it doesn't really what I liked about it. It didn't really go too much into the detail of the controversies of her husband's controversies or what the church was doing wrong. So I quite liked the fact that it was just about Tammy Faye and how she lived. And then I researched a little bit about her, and she seemed like just a really genuinely nice person, which loved everyone. But I'm not sure if it was an act or not, but she seemed like genuinely lovely. She was supportive of any community as long as they were happy. So I think that what she was preaching, and I think her husband was a little bit different from her. Andrew Garfield is incredible in this film. He completely managed to embody Jim Baker, so I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. And then after that, I watched a 2021 film, which is another biopic, called Tick, Tick, Boom. Directed by...
Oh, that's also got Andrew Garfield in.
Yeah, because I want to watch more Andrew Garfield, because I think I think is after Tammy Fay I was like, I like him, and then I watched Tick Tick Boom, and directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and is based on the stage musical by the same name, Tick Tick Boom, which was written and performed by Jonathan Larson, and is an autobiographical story about Larson writing this biography about him trying to enter into the musical theatre industry. Andrew Garfield plays Larson, and also in this film there is Vanessa Hudgens, which I haven't seen in a while, in a film that I would like to watch. So, and and it's basically the story of him is trying to get into musical theatre and the difficulties of it, and the prejudice of it, and how art doesn't pay, and how hard it is to make it in this industry, and is acted beautifully by Andrew Garfield. He's incredible in it. And I went in the film thinking, oh no, Lin-Manuel Miranda. But I thought is a great directorial debut by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's really, really good. It's really... It's a couple of hours, this film, but it flows, and it's really kind of like it took some risks, and it worked really well, because Jonathan Larson seemed to be like an interesting mind. I think what Lin-Manuel Miranda managed to make was an interesting concept between dream and reality. And I really, really liked that. And I thought it was great. Really, really good film. I enjoyed it. I hate musicals. No, that's a strong word. I am not a massive fan of musicals, because I feel that it doesn't make sense that somebody would just stop and sing. But this made sense that they would just go singing, because he's a musical theatre kid, and I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I was amazed by this film. I really, really liked it. And I don't know how it wasn't nominated as Best Picture in the Oscars.
No, considering Don't Look Up got nominated.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's too late. 2021? No, it's fine. Yeah.
No, because Andrew Garfield got nominated.
Yeah, so Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield, I think... Well, we'll discuss it later, but definitely in par with Benedict Cumberbatch in that category. Amazing. He was, and I watched The Eyes of Tammy Fay and Tick Tick Boom one night after the other, and the fact that Andrew Garfield is so versatile with his body and his face, in this film he was amazing. I really enjoyed Tick Tick Boom, and I now would like to watch Rent, which is this the musical that Jonathan Larson wrote, and unfortunately he died before he could see it on stage, which is horrific. But I would like to see it, because if this is the kind of musicals that he makes, I think those are the kind of musicals I like. So I thought I definitely would recommend Tick Tick Boom. Real surprise and real great film. Yeah. And then carrying on with my, I keep watching films that somehow were related to the Oscars. I watched a 2021 film called Spencer. Yes, with Kristen Stewart and other people. And this is kind of like historical fiction. It's not supposed to be about the reality. And in fact, at the beginning of the film, it says this is a fable of what does it say at the beginning?
Well, I don't remember, but it's very much an interpretation of what might have happened during a certain period of time.
Yeah. So and so it follows Diana Spencer from Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, until the day after, until Boxing Day, and with all the family, the Queen, Charles, William, and Harry. And the
Philip, don't forget Philip.
Philip, yeah, he's still alive then. And the psychological anguish that she's having being in this family where everything has to be a certain way and nothing ever changes.
It's the last Christmas she spent with them, I think. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
At Sandringham.
Yeah, and she's having real difficulties being watched and following certain things, and Kristen Stewart is really good in it. I thought it was great. She's really good in this film. And she captured the mannerisms, her accent, and I thought she was really great. I thought that I thought the idea of the film was really interesting, because they kind of made it into a thriller, kind of psychological thriller where she's suffering and
like inspired by The Shining a lot.
Yeah, and like with like the music, the score is written by Johnny Greenwood, and really daunting, and really kind of, the film is quite scary. The only problem is that I had with this film is because it's real, like they're real people. I felt really. I was thinking why I couldn't get myself saying, but this is not real. This is not how it happened. It's just kind of like sometimes the problems that you have with a biopic. I know it's not supposed to be a biopic. It's just supposed to be an interpretation of what might have happened. But unfortunately, in my head, I couldn't divide myself from the real people and how it's not reality, trying to portray reality. You know what I mean?
But it's probably more accurate to the real events than The Eyes of Tammy Fay, say.
Yeah, but I think because The Eyes of Tammy Fay was so costumey and so kind of grandiose, and you kind of, it felt more like a show, Tammy Fay.
I guess.
And also
I just
Tammy
mean that
Faye,
like films that call themselves biopics are never accurate and always change events. And I almost respect Spencer more for just admitting up front that it's just an interpretation. One person's interpretation of what might have went down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Tammy Faye, though, what came from a documentary, so it's kind of slightly realistic of what might have happened. But I don't know, like because I couldn't, I thought it was a good idea, and I think it was, I think Kristen Stewart is amazing in it. I think if it had been maybe not exactly the same people, but maybe like maybe use different names and created a different reality but knowing that these are the people, maybe I would have not. I don't know. I don't know what I felt after. I was just like, I didn't see the point of reliving this when we don't know that if it's real or not, even if it's not real. I don't know. Maybe because it's just the royal family, and every time I watch something about the royal family, I'm already kind of bored from the start, and so maybe this was. I was like, oh, but it's another interpretation about what have happened, and I know it's kind of, and I think if it would have been like a different names, different royal family, kind of, yeah, inspired by that, but different, maybe I would have appreciated it more. But yeah, it's okay.
Fair enough. I liked it for the reasons you didn't like it and wouldn't like it if it was a different names and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah. And then the last thing is, I've got an album recommendation. I found this Japanese band, which I really, really enjoy. I haven't got much information about them, so all I can say is I've been listening to this album by a band called Bray-Me from Shizuoka, Japan. And I can't say much about who they are because I can't find much information, but it's a 4-piece, all females, yes, and they've released only a couple. They've been active since 2008, but they've only released a couple of albums, and I've been listening to their latest release, 2019, called Grace Note. And all I can say is that I really enjoy them. It feels like kind of early noughties rock. That rock that you kind of feel like you go, it's your first day in school and everything is going to go well. And they kind of, if you, one of my favorite bands is Radwimps. They're kind of a female, more rocky side of Radwimps. So they're really fun, really cool to watch. Their videos are really fun. And so, yeah, that's my album recommendation. If you fancy listening to some Japanese rock, Bray.
How do you spell their name?
BRAY hyphen me ME.
Oh, there they are. Bray-Me. Cool. I will look them up. Sometimes here they don't have the hyphen.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do.
Yeah. Apparently they're also known as Brave Jackass and Meme. In a way,
Sure.
I could see them in being played during a Jackass film or episode.
Right.
That kind of music, and I really enjoy them. So
Cool. I like it. I'll look it up. I'll check it out. Thank you.
cool. And that's it for my culture cachapo. How about you, G? What have you been exploring this beautiful week? 2 weeks.
A few things, a few films. I've got 5 that I'm going to talk about. Yeah, and then we can that'll be what I'll do right now. Is those 5?
Yeah.
And also the first episode of Moon Knight was really good. I watched that.
I've watched that as well.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
Oh, I forgot, but so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Let's talk about it now, quickly. Sorry, I completely forgot about it. I watched it. It's so good.
Yeah, what did you expect going in?
I don't know what I expected because I felt it was going to be really confusing, and I'm confused already. But I don't know. It's really well done because he's kind of it introduces this guy. What I liked about it introduces this Stephen, who is played by Oscar Isaac, and it's a nice build up from the beginning till the end of the episode.
Yeah.
is a really nice build up that every time something gets added, every time he wakes up, every time he falls asleep, something gets added until the last shot in the bathroom, in the museum, and you go, oh wow, it's really well done. And I was sad that I couldn't watch the next episode straight away on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I was
like, what? Why is it on Netflix? Why can I not watch it? And I thought Oscar Isaac's accent was pretty spot on. Like,
what, his London accent?
Good.
You thought he was doing a good little old cheeky London accent?
Nah, that his accent is much better than yours.
Nah, my accent's pretty good.
No, his accent was good. I think it was just.
I like his accent, but nobody sounds like that in reality. But I think that's the point.
When was the last time you went to London? Come on.
In the last few years.
Come on. People speak like that in London. No,
they don't.
No.
People speak like that on TV in London.
And what Ethan Hawke does with his feet made me want to vomit.
Yeah, I didn't. I always thought that was interesting because it's almost. I mean, it's not copying because it's been done in other things, but there's a scene in the movie Saint Maud, which is my favourite film from 2 years ago, I think. Where the character in that does something similar, and it's filmed. I thought it was really interesting. Where in Saint Maud they film it in such a way where it made me feel sick, and I thought that in the Marvel thing they filmed it in a way that made it a bit more palatable for people. It didn't feel as sickening as in Saint Maud.
Well, it did feel sickening to me because I was like, oh! What did you think of the first episode?
Yeah, I really liked it. I've read a lot of the Moon Knight comics over the past couple of months because I thought the characters seemed pretty interesting, and I've really enjoyed diving into the comic books. And this seems like... what I've realised from reading the comics is that everyone who writes a Moon Knight comic seems to have a different interpretation of what the character is. So there's no, like, one set thing that it has to be. Which leaves them a lot of room to kind of come up with their own ideas, and it feels like they are doing that. Because I think he's got all these different identities, and the one, I think Steve is the guy in the gift shop, Steve. Whereas in the comic books that identity is like a billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne sort of riff.
Okay.
So they've changed that and made him into sort of a hapless gift shop employee in London. But I think it works. I like it, and I love the sequence where he wakes up in that field in... I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Austria, Sweden, where is he? Somewhere?
Oh, who knows?
And
who knows?
Ends up in that little village where Ethan Hawke's doing his strange thing. And then they have that car chase. And the idea that he keeps, every time he falls asleep, he wakes up and having done something really violent that you don't get to see as the audience until the very end. It's pretty great. I'm looking forward to watching more of it. I can't wait. And, there's a load of like...
Oh, but Disney Plus is not our friend. You can't just binge watch it.
I know. I mean, it's sad. But no, it's good, man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing more of it. But moving right along to a film that we have talked about on here because we've watched the trailer together for My Tube, and I know that you're excited to see it eventually. I went to see the film, the 2022 movie, The Lost City.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, starring Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe, Davine Joy, Brad Pitt, etc., etc. If you've been to cinema in the past year, you'll have seen the trailer for this film. It follows romance adventure novelist Loretta Sage as she is kidnapped by billionaire. Eccentric billionaire Abigail Fairfax, played by Daniel Radcliffe, who is determined to find
Abigail Fairfax.
Abigail Fairfax. There's a joke about his name being weird in the film. Kidnaps Loretta because he's determined to find the lost city of D, and he believes that her latest romance adventure novel can hold the key to discovering the location of the lost city of D. And her cover model for all her books, Alan, played by Channing Tatum, as a sort of big dumb doofus who you can't kind of help but root for, decides that it's his his responsibility to go and rescue her. So he calls in a favour from a much more famous face, and they head off into the jungle to rescue Sandra Bullock. And it's very much I guess the main thing it's a riff on is a film I haven't seen, Romancing the Stone, with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. I think it's literally sort of a soft remake, reboot of that idea. But then also, is generally in the vein of films like Jumanji or Indiana Jones, obviously. And it's had better reviews than you might expect from a big budget studio comedy. It's been fairly well received by people, and I really enjoyed it as well. It gets by a lot on the charisma of its leads, particularly Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, who are very, very funny together and work really well together. Daniel Radcliffe is pretty funny as the bad guy, although he doesn't get that much play in the movie. And it sort of doesn't do anything that's going to shock or surprise you particularly, but by the end, you've had a thoroughly good, entertaining couple of hours, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I would recommend people check out The Lost City. It's not going to change your life, but it's fun. And and Patty Harrison, who plays a few characters in I Think You Should Leave, the greatest TV show ever made, is in this for about 5 minutes, and she's hilarious. In every line she has is hilarious, as you would expect from the woman who got sewn into the Charlie Brown pants at the fair. So yeah. It's good. It's really good. I liked it. I like Lost City.
I really want to watch it.
Yeah, you should go and see it. Definitely go and watch it. Then it's big films being released at the moment. I went to see the 2022 movie directed by no one, Jeff Fowler, whoever that is. Who cares?
No one.
It's one of those movies where
rude.
It is rude, but it doesn't matter who directed this film. It is Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing you haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog 1, have you?
Of course not.
No.
No.
In the long tradition of video game movies being terrible, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 broke tradition and was actually pretty great. I really liked Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Ben Schwartz, who is fantastic as Jean-Ralphio on Parks and Recreation, is a very good voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Jim Carrey is back to being his sort of 90s self. You're sort of shaking your head at Jim Carrey there.
Yeah, you can go and eat a pillow.
Really? Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I like him. He was very good in the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So I had a lot of hopes and dreams for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because Sonic the Hedgehog 1 was brilliant, and then they were promising to introduce Knuckles the Echidna, of course, iconic character, and Tails the Fox, who can spin his tails, be a little helicopter, were coming in to this second movie. And it follows the adventures of... The movie opens with Sonic still living with his human friend, who's played by James Marsden, whose name doesn't matter. And very quickly, James Marsden and his wife go to Hawaii to attend the wedding of his sister-in-law and leave Sonic home alone, at which point Dr. Robotnik finds his way back to Earth, having been banished at the end of the last movie, and brings with him Knuckles the Echidna, and attacks Sonic in an attempt to find out where the Master Emerald is hidden, which will give the bearer unlimited power, etc. And Dr. Robotnik is fairly keen on gaining access to that. And the movie sort of veers for the first half between following the adventures of Sonic and Tails as they try to outwit Dr. Robotnik and find the Emerald. And then it will occasionally remember that James Marsden is in the movie, and then for 10 minutes it will show them just a load of humans at a wedding in Hawaii, and it's hard to know quite why that bit of the movie exists, because the whole film, I mean, this is a kid's film. I saw this in a movie that was packed with like young children in a screening. How long do you think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 should be?
90 minutes.
It's just over 2 hours long.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
why?
There's definitely 20 to 25 minutes worth of like Hawaiian wedding scenes that you could take out the movie and it would be absolutely fine. So it's too long, which is unfortunate. Jim Carrey has turned the energy up even higher than he had it in the first movie, and unfortunately it doesn't quite work in my opinion. He's not as good in this as he is in the first one, which is a pity. But Ben Schwartz is still really good. Idris Elba, surprisingly, is pretty good as the voice of Knuckles, which was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, really strange. Because he's not even really putting on a voice. He just sounds like Idris Elba coming out the voice of this like little red echidna anteater thing.
Yeah.
And Colleen O'Shaughnessy. It's also interesting they went with a celebrity voice actor for Knuckles, and then Tails they hired Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who's quite iconically the voice of the character in like the recent video games. So they went for like the game accurate voice for her, or for Tails, and she does a really good job. And it's okay. I gave it, I think, 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. It's too long. There's like a dance sequence where Sonic and Knuckles do a dance to Uptown Funk, which is, you know, it's a kids' film. It has to, I guess they're going to have a dance sequence in there, but it's not necessary. But there's also some pretty good little Easter eggs for, you know, video game fans like me. There's a bit where Sonic ends up underwater, and if you've played Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the game, you'll know what you want Sonic to do when he goes underwater, and he does it, so that's fine. So yeah, that was that. Up next, let's see what's up next. Yes, of course it is. Our long international nightmare is finally over. The necessity to see a trailer for the movie Morbius every time you go to the cinema for the last year is finally over, because the movie Dr. Michael Morbius the Vampire is here. He's here. Yeah. He's arrived. He is present in cinemas. Great. I went to see him. I met Morbius, Jared Leto's, latest attempt to enter the superhero genre after he ruined the Joker in the couple of things he did the Joker in. Here he's playing Dr. Michael Morbius, a man with a rare blood disease who needs to have his oil changed 3 times a day, is how he describes it. He needs like regular blood transfusions to stay alive. So he's trying to find a cure to his disease. At the start of the movie, he wins the Nobel Prize for Medicine, and he gives it back because he's not been able to cure himself. So he rejects it, which upsets his girlfriend. Because, you know, if you get given the Nobel Prize, you should accept it. And his childhood best friend, whose name is, I don't know, Lucius or Milo or something, is played by Matt Smith, who is debasing himself in this movie by actually trying, unlike anyone else. And he's also suffering from the same blood disease. Matt Smith,
Doctor Who?
Yes.
Matt Smith?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He's good in this because he's good in everything he does. I really like Matt Smith.
Yeah,
and,
he's great.
He always seems to end up in bad movies. He was in one of the Terminator films being, you know, misused, and again he's misused in this as a sort of mirror image version of Morbius. So Dr. Michael Morbius, he gets a bat, he drinks the bat, and then he becomes a Batman, but not Batman, a vampire guy. He has the urge to drink human blood to keep himself from becoming too much of a monster. However, he has also invented artificial blood, we're told pretty early on in the movie, so he has these blue packs of like blue blood that's artificial, and he can drink that and it will stop him from going evil. But then they're becoming less, like at the start of the movie when he drinks it, he can be a human for 6 hours and then 4 hours, and he's like, oh, eventually I'm going to run out of blue. The blue stuff is going to stop working, I'm going to have to drink real blood. So he's trying to deal with that, and that could potentially be an interesting movie, but because it's a comic book movie made by Sony Pictures particularly, there has to be a bad guy for him to like punch in the face, so that's why Matt Smith's there, who gives himself the same. We don't know how he manages it, but he gets the same cure and turns into a vampire guy. But he's a bit more like, I'll kill people and drink their blood. That's fine. I'll be a vampire dude. So they have a fight, and you could predict all of this from the trailer.
Yeah,
and then it's the end of the movie.
Oh,
this is not a movie.
So nothing really exciting.
It almost isn't a movie. It barely. The opening credit sequence is great. It looks like something from Manhunt or something. It looks like a 1980s Michael Mann movie. And then the closing credit sequence is also great, similar kind of cool retro aesthetic. And then everything that happens in between the opening and closing credit sequence is terrible and some of the worst movie I've ever seen. And partly it's because like a lot of the performances are fine. Like Jared Leto ultimately is like he does know how to act. I don't like him, but he is capable of acting in a movie, and he's definitely capable of acting in this movie. So he's sort of fine. Matt Smith is great and is sort of great in this, but despite not having anything to do. Jared Harris is in this and is fine in it, but like there's nothing for anyone in it to do. There's no film here. The movie doesn't exist. It's appalling. It's as bad.
That's the word you're going to use. Appalling.
It's appalling. It's as bad as I expected it to be, and that might But everyone doesn't like this movie. I'm not on my own on this. This is, and it also has, and I was confused before it came out because one of the first set of reactions to it were the post-credit scenes were bad, and I remember thinking, how could a post-credit scene be bad? The post-credit scenes are just like a little hint at what might come in the future. Like it's not good or bad. It just is.
Yeah.
But no, they're bad. They're really bad. They're terrible. They're the worst. They're confusing and nonsensical and stupid, and like you watch the entire movie and nothing happens, and then the post-credit scenes promise a further continuation of nothing happening in movies in the future, and it's just appalling. Appalling. Dr. Michael Morbius, I'm rescinding your medical license, but it's fine, Alex.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Michael Morbius, the Vampire Man, is not the worst film I've seen in a cinema recently.
Oh, wow.
Because
What's the worst?
I quite recently went to see the worst film I've ever seen in my entire life in a cinema.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I went to the cinema to watch a movie called, and you might not know what I'm talking about, it's a movie called The Nan Movie.
The Nan?
The Nan Movie.
Like Nana's grandma?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you know the Nan?
No.
But the Nan's iconic. Surely you know the Nan.
Do I?
Yeah, she's
Should I?
she's famous. She's an iconic character, the Nan.
Are you sure?
Tell me if you've heard of this person before. Yeah.
I'm gonna write to the Nan.
No, don't spoil it.
Okay, I won't spoil it. Okay.
Catherine Tate.
Oh God, no. Oh, that Nan. Why did you go and watch that film?
Because you have to watch the Nan movie if they're going to make make the Nan movie. The Nan, you describe to me what your memory of the Nan is, what you know.
So Catherine Tate is a British comedian.
Yes,
and she does different characters. One of the characters she did was this grandma, which was very rude, wasn't she?
Oh, she was the foul-mouthed Nan. Yeah,
really foul-mouthed and rude, and that's all I know because I didn't really watch it. It was, I think it was in the Catherine Tate show. Or something.
That was what it was called, the Catherine Tate show. So,
but I never watched it really. I saw snippets of it.
So the Nan was the breakout character, along with the girl that said "I'm not bothered."
Ah, yeah.
From the Catherine Tate show. When was the breakout character, really big popular character. Obviously, they've made a movie of the Nan. You have to make a movie when you've got a character that popular. That movie came out in 20.
It was years ago.
When do you think the Catherine Tate show was on TV?
20 before. Well, when I still lived in England, so at least 10, 15 years ago.
2004 to 2007 was when the Catherine Tate show was on. So it ended 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That was when it finished.
Yeah. And she revived. What?
Do you remember what the Nan's big joke was?
No.
The Nan's big joke was telling her grandson, played by Matthew Horn, that he was gay.
Oh. I don't recall that.
Yeah, that was pretty much the big joke, was that she accused her grandson. Do you think that joke works in 2022?
No.
Do you think that
No,
joke
it
really
didn't
worked
work.
in 2000? No, it didn't particularly. But
No, I
people accepted it for some reason in 2007. Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that people should know better than to do that joke in 2022?
Oh, so she did it again in 2022.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Do you want to know the?
Okay.
Do you want to know the tale of how the Nan movie came to be?
Come on, talk to me.
So, it starts with a movie that I think you might have seen called Mary Queen of Scots with Margot Robbie and.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
Okay, but you know of that movie.
Yeah.
Quite an artistic, well-made, kind of, proper piece of cinema.
Yeah.
So the director of that movie, and you have to excuse me, I do not know her name, but the director of that movie made the Nan movie with Catherine Tate. Okay?
Okay.
And the Nan movie that she made was set in World War II with Catherine Tate looking how just Catherine Tate looks, and was the tale of how the Nan became so bitter. And with her, due to her sister stealing the love of her life away and leaving her alone, and marrying a man that she didn't particularly love in place of the man she did love, and they made a heartfelt, sweet, funny little World War II period comedy thing that was the Nan movie, and they took it to the studio that financed it and said, here is the Nan movie, and the studio said, well, we've seen your Nan movie and we have one question, where is the Nan? Why is the Nan not in this movie? We want the Nan to be in the movie. So Catherine Tate had to go away and direct herself a road trip comedy where she drives, or is driven by her grandson Matthew Horn, across the UK to Ireland to meet her long-lost sister. So the movie that we have now is intermittently the worst thing ever made by anyone, the road trip movie, interspersed with occasional flashbacks to what might potentially be a good movie, where we see snippets of the life that she had as a young person in the war. And then it will have this kind of well-made little bit of period World War II stuff, and then it will cut back to Catherine Tate in old age makeup telling her grandson that he's gay, and then that continues for an hour and 40 minutes, and then it ends.
So it could have been a good movie.
The movie, as is, Alex, doesn't have a credited director.
Oh.
It just ends without even saying, so this is why I had to go and see the Nan movie. It's a movie that no one has even put their name to it as having directed it, as if it just came to be. The Nan movie appeared before us and we watched it, for we were blessed by the Nan.
So the concept of a movie was completely different.
Yes.
It was supposed to be kind of a serious, movie about serious, not really, but a film about
a sort of sweet comedy.
Yeah.
Drama. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
and the twist would be, this is some pathos, and then she became the Nan. And don't you feel sort of like a bit warmer towards this horrible old woman? Whereas actually now, no, I don't.
Oh. So she took her name off this film.
Nobody's, yeah. Nobody's name is on this film. Not even Catherine Tate put her name to the film. It's appalling.
Oh wow!
It's astonishingly terrible.
But why do a film like that when this is not your film? Why do? I don't understand why. Why have a film that you want to do, and then you go and pitch it, and it's finished? And why go and change it?
Because the studio said, we're not putting this movie out. You told us you were making the Nan movie, and then where is the Nan? We need the Nan. Give us the Nan.
Yeah, but they could have put the Nan at the end.
No, they wanted it to be the Nan all the way through. Oh, I've forgotten to mention the worst part about the movie. So, when they made Catherine Tate go away and make the road movie part of the movie, which does take up the majority of the film, to be clear, this is the most of the film. They clearly didn't give her much of a budget to work with, so there's lots of scenes of her and her grandson in his van. And his van, by the way, on the side, it says crafts undo negative thoughts. And then when you slide the door of the van open, it obscures all but the first letter of each of those words. So spell it out in your head. Crafts undo negative thoughts. What would that? Yeah, it's pretty funny stuff, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are 3 sequences in the movie, I think, that are nominally supposed to be action scenes, like car chases, etc. But they didn't have a budget to do a car chase, so they couldn't film a car chase. So what happens during these moments in the movie is it suddenly becomes an animated film. And by animated film, what I mean is they've got a photograph of the road that takes up the background of the screen, and then they've got photographs of the lead actors, and they are being dragged around the screen while the actors are sort of speaking over the top of it. And that happens like 3 times in the movie. And it's explained away by, you never see Catherine Tate say this with her mouth, so they must have added this in post-production, but you hear the nan say, "Oh, you're an animator, aren't you, grandson? So maybe you could animate these scenes."
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. I'm serious. This is in the movie. This is a real movie.
But
that was they put it out into a cinema, and they put a poster up on the bus stop. And it says the Nan movie.
sounds great.
It's not great. It's really bad. But I'll stop talking about it now. But you got to watch the Nan movie when it presents itself to you, and it will. You have to watch it to see what it is, because it's nothing else has ever happened that's quite like the Nan movie. Moving on.
Did you go and watch it just because of the weirdness around it?
Yeah, and because I was a bit like, they've made a Nan movie in 2022, and also I have a free cinema card. It's not free; I pay for it, but I can see as many films as I want every month. So I was like, I might as well go and see. It's not going to cost me any extra money to see the Nan movie, so I'll go and see the Nan movie, because then I can tell Alex all about it.
I'm glad you had me in your mind when you watched that.
The Nan movie.
Yeah.
And I've chosen to talk today about the Nan movie instead of, say, Phantom of the Open, which is a very good film that I'm not talking about today, because I wanted to talk about the Nan movie instead.
Okay, fantastic.
But last film I'm going to talk about quite quickly, because I just want to mention it because it's brilliant and better than the Nan movie, is the latest action spectacle nonsense movie from Michael Bay. Director Michael Bay has left the transforming robots in his backyard garden for now, and has given us the movie Ambulance, starring Ambulance. Do you know this movie?
No.
Okay. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Eliza Gonzalez. Three very good actors who I enjoy. You know who Jake Gyllenhaal is. You know Yahya Abdul-Mateen II?
Yeah.
Yep. And do you know Isa Gonzalez?
No.
She's in Baby Driver and Godzilla versus King Kong and a couple of other movies. She's good. She's good. So in this movie, Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II play brothers, Danny and Will. The movie obviously tells us quite early on that one of them is an adopted brother, because it feels the need to tell us that.
Okay.
And it opens with Will, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's character, on the phone to the insurance people, begging them to approve his wife's experimental surgery, and they refuse to because he can't afford it and they won't pay for it on the surgery. So he's desperate. So he goes to his brother Danny, who we later learn is a famous bank robber. Quite how there can be a famous bank robber in the world without him being arrested already isn't really questioned by the movie. And Will begs Danny for the money for this operation. And Danny says, "You're in luck. Will, because actually I'm about to go and do one of my iconic bank robberies, and if you come with me, I'll share the winnings with you. So in what appears to be the most poorly planned bank robbery in history, Jake Gyllenhaal just at the last minute adds his own brother to the crew. They go off to rob the bank. Everything goes wrong. Will ends up shooting a police officer, and when the ambulance comes to take the police officer and help them, due to a series of events transpiring, Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II escape from the scene in this ambulance. One of them driving it, one of them in the back holding the police officer that's been shot and the paramedic that is attending him, played by Isa Gonzalez, hostage. And then the entire rest of the movie is a protracted 2-hour-long chase scene where the police are trying to chase down this ambulance and safely stop it without injuring the police officer inside. Now, professional film critics have slandered this movie, picking apart plot holes such as, if the life of this police officer in the back of the ambulance is so important, why do 10,000 police officers die when police cars explode in this movie, which happens about once every 20 seconds? And that's a fair point, but...
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet Mark Kermode would give Saving Private Ryan a 5-star review. Yeah, Ambulance for some reason isn't afforded the same level of respect. It's absurd. Yeah. It's an absurd, stupid movie. But I adore Michael Bay's style when he's doing these kinds of films. So, The Rock. Bad Boys 2, Armageddon, like when he is at his highest peak of melodrama, I really enjoy it. And I thought Ambulance was brilliant. I really, really liked it. I'm not going to defend it as like a piece of art beyond just the fact that I think that it's fine to enjoy a stupid action movie, and if you're going to pick holes in the plot, then go ahead and do that. But I liked it a lot. Jake Gyllenhaal does some of the greatest screaming and yelling and grunting that I've ever seen anyone do in this movie. So it's pretty spectacular, and it's pretty great. And I'm excited to see Yahya Abdul-Mateen II headline a big blockbuster piece of entertainment, because that guy is great. And I just think the world needs to be more and more aware of him and the work he's doing. So Ambulance was brilliant. And that's all of the films I have for you this week, and that is that. And the Nan movie was what? Yeah, go and watch the Nan movie.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So a week ago, it was the annual big pat ourselves on the back festival called the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it passed by broadly without incident, was fairly dull, but but we need to talk about it briefly because me and you did a prediction special, and we need to check in and see who won.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me. I won, but let's break it down so we can examine exactly how well I destroyed you in this competition.
Thank you.
Well, let's go through the categories quickly. We won't spend loads of time on this. But Best Original Screenplay, we both said Licorice Pizza. Do you remember who won?
Yeah. Belfast.
Belfast. Kenneth Branagh winning his first ever Oscar. I think you probably don't agree that this was the correct winner.
No, absolutely not.
And maybe I agree as well, but equally, I was surprised that Kenneth Branagh's never won an Oscar before, and I was a bit like, oh, do you know what?
Yeah, I was surprised.
I'm happy for Kenneth Branagh to walk away from the evening with an Oscar. So,
yeah,
take it where you can get it. One of your rare victories over me next.
Thank you.
Best adapted screenplay. I said The Power of the Dog. You said Coda. Coda was the
1 point for me.
Yeah, 1 point
Coda.
For you.
Yeah.
Up next is the start of the strategy that paid off for me big time, is the first big technical award, which is Best Visual Effects. Yeah. I said Dune, you said Dune, the winner was...
Dune. 1 point each. Woohoo.
Yeah, Dune was the big winner of the night, sweeping the technical categories and sweeping me into victory, which is pretty good. Best sound, I said Dune, you said Dune, the winner was... Dune, indeed. 1 point each. Best live action short film, I said The Long Goodbye by Riz Ahmed. You said Ala Catch You, Take and Run. The winner was...
Yeah. The Long
The
Goodbye.
Long Goodbye. Yeah, sorry.
Good.
Short film animated. I said Robin Robin. You said Robin Robin. And
Yeah.
surprising, I think everyone, the windshield wiper was the winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've literally not even seen a frame of that. I don't know what it is, but sure. I'm sure it's great.
No.
Production design. I said Dune. You said West Side Story. The winner was
Dune.
Best original song. We both plumped for No Time to Die. And of course, Billie Eilish took home the Oscar. And
Did you see the performance?
no, I didn't watch the performance actually.
Great. Very good. Very good.
I heard it was a really boring ceremony and nothing interesting happened, so I didn't bother watching any of the clips from it.
Nothing interesting happening. No.
Yeah. Best original score. We both went for Dune, and the winner was correctly Dune. Hans Zimmer taking away an Oscar. I don't think the first one has ever won. Best makeup and hairstyling. We both said The Eyes of Tammy Fay, and the winner was The Eyes of Tammy Fay. And having seen it, do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield's hair even looks pretty wild in that film.
It's amazing, and also Jessica Chastain, they completely changed her. Really, really good.
Yeah. There is a bit of a thing where you win an Oscar if you put loads of prosthetics on in the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Which played well for Jessica Chastain, right?
Yeah.
International feature film. We both said Drive My Car, and the winner was
Drive My Car.
Having seen The Worst Person in the World and Drive My Car, what do you think?
I have to. I think it should have gone to the worst person in the world.
Interesting. Okay. I really want to watch Drive My Car. I'm going to try and watch it soon. It's just gone up on Mubi in the UK. But it's 3 hours long.
Well, we both watched. Yeah, and we both watched The Worst Person in the World, and Yeah,
stay tuned later for much more talk of that in a future episode. Yeah, God, that movie is something. Film editing next. I said Dune. You said The Power of the Dog. The winner was Dune.
Dune
Winning most awards it was nominated for, other than the big one, I think. Documentary short subject. I said The Queen of Basketball. You said Lead Me Home. The winner was
The Queen of Basketball.
Queen of Basketball.
So 1 point to you.
Yeah. Have you watched Lead Me Home out of interest?
No.
It's on Netflix. I haven't watched it, but I noticed it the other day. Best documentary. I said Summer of Soul, When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. You said Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised, and the winner was Summer of Soul.
Yeah.
Or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. So there we go. Best director. I said Jane Campion. You said Jane Campion, and Jane Campion indeed took home the trophy. Although I think the winner should have been Denis Villeneuve, but he wasn't even nominated in just.
Oh, it should have been. Yeah.
Costume design, I said Cruella, you said West Side Story, and Cruella took it home.
Yeah.
But I think West Side Story would have been a really worthy winner. I think that the costumes in that film are great.
Yeah.
Cinematography, we both said Dune won. Animated feature film, we both said Encanto won. That was good. I was happy.
Oh, did you watch less than? Well, you haven't watched anything. There's this song, We Don't Talk About Bruno, and it was the most, probably like the biggest song in the past few months on TikTok and social media. And it was so it was so bad. It was really badly performed.
I told a little fib before. I did watch one clip from the Oscars because people said it was worth checking out, and it was the We Don't Talk About Bruno performance.
Yeah.
It's pretty rubbish.
It was so bad. It feels like the Oscars just took any. I don't know. Those kind of shows just bring the soul out of like art. I don't know. It's just terrible. It's such a good song.
It is such a good song, and it just had nothing. And then they abandoned the song halfway through to let Megan Thee Stallion do a rap, which is,
why was Megan Thee Stallion singing?
I don't know. And how did she know Zendaya was going to be sat there? How did she know?
Oh no, she probably. I don't know.
Or was that just like freestyle? Did she turn up to the Oscars and do a freestyle?
Wow, that's insane though. Like that was a bad. Like you can't ruin that song. My kids sing it every day, and it's fun to hear my singing it. My kids singing it.
And I don't know. I really like Stephanie Beatriz, and she was barely got to do anything. None of the actual people that do the song. Anyway, but never mind. It was pretty disappointing.
Never mind.
Anyway, actress in a supporting role, we both said Ariana DeBose, and it was Ariana DeBose. And I didn't realise she plays the bullet in Hamilton, I recently realised, which is...
Oh.
And I think I remember you pulling her out as being one of the things in it that you liked when you did watch Hamilton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that she was like, she was good.
Probably. I really like her, yeah.
Yeah, she's brilliant. Actress in a leading role, Jessica Chastain, and it was Jessica Chastain, we both said that. Actor in a supporting role, we both said Troy Kotsur, and it was Troy Kotsur. And having watched Coda in the last week, yes, he's great in that film. Actor in a leading role, I said Will Smith. You said Benedict Cumberbatch, and the winner was Will Smith. Moving on, Best Picture. The big
definitely. I'm sorry, but Will Smith did not deserve this Oscar. I think it was either Benedict Cumberbatch or Andrew Garfield. After watching Tick Tick Boom, Andrew Garfield was incredible in it, and
it's impossible to be subjective anymore about.
I don't care what Will Smith did. What I mean is, like, I've even before the Oscars happened and I watched Tick Tick Boom, I was like, no, definitely.
I mean, Andrew Garfield was definitely in position to win. Like, it was between those two was the general conversation, I think. And I guess Benedict Cumberbatch. It was a bit of a but I loved Will Smith's performance in King Richard. But I haven't seen. From the performances I've seen, I would have given it to Will Smith, but I haven't seen Tick Tick Boom yet, so I can't say. But yeah.
And the last one for me,
Best Picture. We both said The Power of the Dog, and the winner was Coda. Which what do you have? I mean, you having seen pretty much all the nominees, what do you think?
It was definitely not a Best Picture.
Yeah, but isn't it weird that you gave it a glowing review last week? And now the temptation is to sort of slightly bash it. But
No. Like, but I said it was a great film. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it's not a Best Picture film. The Eyes of Tammy Fay, I enjoyed the film. It's not a Best Picture film. I don't think Coda's a Best Picture film. Like, I really enjoyed it. But The Power of the Dog is a Best Picture film. Dune is a Best Picture film.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I think in my opinion, but I've realised that the Oscars are just ridiculous. A ridiculous performance of nonsense. It's a great film, but you put Dune next to Coda. Coda does not beat Dune.
No. Here's my problem with the ending of Coda. And I won't spoil it, but skip 2 minutes ahead if you don't want like light spoilers about the sort of the ending of Coda. The deaf characters, who throughout the movie are secondary to the main character, and it is called Coda, which stands for Child of Deaf Adults, so she is the main character. Her story, is given an ending. Her arc is finished, and then the deaf family around her, their arc is completed during a montage. It just has a montage of being like, oh, and all their problems were solved as well. And it doesn't really give any of them a moment to a moment for their story to finish. It's just done through a montage without any dialogue. Yeah. And it does feel like it shortchanges the characters that when people are celebrating the movie Coda, they're celebrating things like the performance by Troy Kotsur, the performance by Marley Matlin. These are the performances, these are the characters, these are the people in it that people really connected with. And it almost feels like that's all secondary as far as the film is concerned to the journey of the daughter. And like, she isn't strictly... she has her own issues and problems to deal with. But it's not necessarily. I don't know entirely how I feel about it. I thought the movie was good, but I think there are scenes in this movie that are bad, and they are the scenes between her and her singing teacher.
Oh, her singing teachers are terrible. But it's a good fit. Like, it's an enjoyable film to watch.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable film to watch.
That's why I had good reviews, and I'm shocked that it's won against films like Dune and The Power of the Dog.
Me too. Well,
Yeah.
well, that's
you know.
that's the Oscars.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what you thought about The
Let's
Shape
not
of
do this
Water. Let's
again.
do homework.
Let's do homework.
Sit down at the back and be quiet and get out your book because it's time to discuss your homework. Now.
Let's do homework. So the Oscars are finished. Nothing happened.
Actually, one final thing to say about the Oscars. There was something that we should discuss quickly.
Yeah.
The final scores were Alex 14, me 19. I think I only got 3 of the categories wrong. Pretty good performance. Feel free to tell me that I'm good, and then we'll move on.
Yes. So The Shape of Water. You are great. You are a great Oscar award predictor.
Thank you. Okay, carry
Could
on.
you have predicted the controversy that happened in the Oscars? Probably not.
How bad that We Don't Talk About Bruno performance was going to be? I probably could have predicted that, actually, because it just felt like a song that's difficult to perform live outside of the context of the film, and the choices that they made actively sabotaged it. So they started from a place of weakness and then made it worse. So, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Shape of Water.
Yeah. Shape of Water. So my homework, a couple of weeks ago we discussed our top 5 best picture winners, Oscar winners, and one of your choices was The Shape of Water, which is a film directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes.
I love his name. And it stars Sally Hawkins, Octavia Spencer, Michael Shannon, Doug Jones, which he was also, which I didn't realise, in Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, and he was the guy with the hands.
He plays the faun as well. He plays 2 roles in that film.
I plays the faun as well. Oh, interesting. Richard Jenkins, and etc. etc. So it's a fable, another fable. He likes these kind of things.
Definitely.
Set in America, I think in the 1960s, and this mute woman works in this facility, top secret facility, where she forms an interesting and unique relationship with an amphibious creature man thing.
Yeah.
And who has been taken away from his native waters and has been taken to America and is being used as leverage against the Russians. There is a horrible man played by Michael Shannon, who's horrific, that is torturing this creature. And so Elisa Esposito, this janitor, tries to liberate this creature. So this film is very beautiful to watch. It's Benicio del Toro, so it looks really Benicio. No, it's not called Benicio. It's called Guillermo. Benicio is another one. Benicio is the other guy. This film is beautiful to watch. Guillermo del Toro managed to make it everything very stylistically beautiful, and the characters are kind of nice. So the characters that you really like, Elisa Esposito, the mute janitor played by Sally Hawkins. You really like her because, she's got a sad story, but she was also quite happy, and she seems to be quite happy with her life. She's quite quirky and stuff. So the characters you like, you really like. The characters you hate, you really hate. Like Michael Shannon, Richard Strickland, who is a disgusting man. The problem is I didn't care for anything of this film. I felt I didn't get the fact that she suddenly falls in love with this weird guy. Like, she suddenly has a connection with this amphibian guy. I didn't get why she had to masturbate every morning. I didn't get the eggs thing. I don't know why the family of Michael Shannon was involved. I just didn't.
Well, I think it was sort of showing that there was more humanity in the monster than there was in his character. It was like juxtaposing his lack of humanity and how awful he was, and showing some of his background versus the thing that he thought was a monster with no humanity in it actually was much more human, or what we would, had traits that we would consider human.
Yeah, but it's just you've done it again, Guillermo. Like, we've seen it in Pan's Labyrinth. It was just too. It was kind of predictable, and it just felt really wooden for me. I just didn't like. I just thought it was. I didn't like it. I was really frustrated with it. I thought it was beautiful to watch, and it was like a nice thing to watch. But I felt really. I couldn't feel emotional attachment to it. I didn't care if anybody died or they didn't die. What happens at the end, I thought it was really predictable. I felt like certain things were not necessary. It was just to add some. Like, I can tell you that this Richard Strickland was an asshole without you telling me that his home life was terrible. I don't understand why he had to. His fingers had to go in gangrene. It just felt like it was just a film. Like, it was just like pattern, done, finish. We've done the film, and I didn't like it.
Wow.
Sorry.
Fair enough. No, it's okay.
And I can't believe Octavia Spencer got a nomination for that as the best supporting actress.
Yeah, but I mean, that film that year just got it was just the film of the year kind of thing,
I guess. But a good thing about the film, it was acted very well by everyone. Everybody did a good job in the acting.
Sure, yeah.
They did, Sally Hawkins is pretty amazing, and I saw her, even in Spencer, she was amazing. So, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't like it.
No, that's fair. That's okay.
I don't know what it was. I just felt like it could have been much better.
Yeah, fair.
I'm
fair.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I watched Amadeus.
Yeah.
Which is a film, the Best Picture winner it came out in 1984, so it would have won in 1985. Directed by Milos Forman and adapted by Peter Shaffer from his own play Amadeus, telling the story of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart through the eyes of Antonio Salieri, played by F. Murray Abraham, who also won Best Actor for the movie. And sort of takes place largely in somewhere in Italy, I think. I don't remember. Vienna. Takes place in Vienna.
Yeah.
Where Mozart is sort of hired by the emperor to write plays and be a general composer about town, I suppose, and charts the rivalry between him and Salieri, who is not gifted in the same way as Amadeus. I couldn't find this, despite being an important movie, apparently, I couldn't find this anywhere to stream online, so I had to, and it's never been released on Blu-ray in the UK, so I had to buy the DVD off eBay.
Oh, wow.
And I accidentally bought the director's cut, so I got the 3-hour-long version of Amadeus.
Okay.
So I sat down one Sunday evening for 3 hours.
3 hours is a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, and watched this movie. And F. Murray Abraham is very good in it. Tom Hulce, who plays Mozart, is better, I thought. I think he's really good in this movie. as Mozart and plays him as a very irritating man. And
Yeah.
the rest of the supporting cast are fairly good, although no one else is in it for that long. Jeffrey Jones, who is a disgraced sex offender.
Is he?
Yep. Plays the Emperor. And
Jesse Jones?
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. And
wow, why is everybody called Jeffrey? Is he a sex offender?
yeah.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah. You won't see him in any
Since
films
when?
today. I don't know, since like the mid
No, you don't.
the mid 2000s, I think.
Wow. That he was like the face of our films when we were growing up.
Yeah, Beetlejuice, this.
Wow.
There are others.
Oops. Terrible.
And ultimately, I had a terrible time. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was rubbish.
Did you like the music at least?
No, I don't like classical music.
Oh.
I liked the stuff that I already recognised through like having a connection with it. The rest of it I thought was bland and crap. I didn't like it. And I don't care about the story, and it does the thing that biopics do that I hate, where none of it's even true. Like Salieri didn't kill Mozart. They had a friendly rivalry at best, is all that the historical evidence points towards. So the entire plot of the movie, similar to Spencer, but unlike Spencer at least owns up to this at the start, whereas Amadeus would have you believe it is a document of real events, is in fact entirely made up and impossible to back up. And even the incredibly annoying laugh that's like a key character trait of Mozart has no basis in reality. And so it's really just a fictional story of two men who happen to share the names of two real people. And I just thought it was really boring. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I don't know why it was 3 hours long. It didn't seem to have enough of a plot to justify being 3 hours long. It just was like an endless procession of scenes. So
it's not supposed to be 3 hours long, though, isn't it?
Well, it's only 20 minutes longer, so it would be 2 hours and 40 minutes otherwise.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
To agree to disagree on homework this week.
Yeah. Like I in a way, yeah, because it doesn't say, but it is like it is a fictional film. Like
it's called Amadeus, and it doesn't. You would assume that it's telling the true story.
Yeah, but Spencer, it's called Spencer. It's not telling us.
Like you said, it says at the start that it's a fable, right?
Yeah, but this is Spencer was made in 2021. This is made in if Amadeus was made now, they probably would say this is an idea of what we think that would be. But
maybe,
at the time they didn't, because they didn't have to explain themselves. And I think if Spencer was made in 1984, it probably would have been the same.
Well, it would have been
just
set in the past.
Like
what? It couldn't have been made in.
No, it would have been like they wouldn't have said, "Oh, this is our imagination of what things went."
In the future.
So, what? You're being annoying now. You're being that guy right now. Well done, George. So great homework we gave each other. Well, it's good that we don't have the same opinions.
No, it's probably for the best that we don't have the same opinions, because that's what makes it interesting.
Oh.
Okay. Should we move on to discussing our top 5 for the week?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our top 5.
So it's a sort of odd one this week, where we're doing not an odd one as such, but we have picked out 5 actors who have given performances broadly across the last year that we have enjoyed. So it's our sort of 2022 performance review, let's call it that. So you to start this week, I believe. So
yeah,
what do you have for us?
Okay, so I've chosen different from different films that I've watched and TV series as well. Or Netflix series, because I don't watch TV, but I watch Netflix.
We can, yeah.
So, at my number, it was quite hard actually, because there's been some very good performances this year in TV and film. And so my number 5 is a character from our loved TV series, The White Lotus.
Okay.
Murray Bartlett.
Oh, yeah.
That plays Armand in The White Lotus.
Nice. Good pick. He's amazing in that.
Yeah, I've chosen him because he's so versatile and different and amazing. And from the start of this series till the end, he just becomes a completely different character, and he portrays it in an incredible way. And you love him, you hate him, you feel worried for him, you think he's silly, and your emotions change so much in the series about Armand, and I think he's an incredible performance of his.
Agreed. He's amazing in that show. And had you ever seen him in anything else before?
No, I haven't actually.
No, never had I. And he just sort of steals, like, it's full of people you've seen and stuff before, like Alexandra Daddario and Connie Britton and Sydney Sweeney that you'd have seen already in Euphoria and stuff. And then he just manages to be kind of amazing and untouchable. So I agree. I like it. Good pick.
Yeah. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is someone who I've already mentioned in today's episode for one of the 2 movies over the past year I've seen him in that I've really enjoyed, and it is Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Who is...
From this performance?
No, not necessarily. So the main one is the 2021 sort of reimagining of Candyman.
Okay, yeah.
In which he plays a character called Anthony McCoy, who is going through... Throughout the movie goes through a sort of transformation and possession by the spirit known as Candyman, and kind of has to deal with that throughout the movie. And there's lots of little... Like, I really like that movie, and he brings lots of odd little flourishes and touches to his performance as he's acting out the story of this man kind of falling apart, both internally and externally. And he does it really well, and I just think he's great in everything I've ever seen him in, and he's one of my favourite sort of actors at the moment. He's somebody who, when I see him coming up in stuff, I'm like, I get excited about the fact that he's in it. Like Ambulance, I was really excited to see it because he was in it. The Matrix 4, I was really excited to see because he was in it, despite liking that movie very much in the end. But that's not necessarily because of him, although he is being asked to emulate Lawrence Fishburne, which is like an impossible task, and I think he does it as well as you could hope anybody would. And Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is good. He's great, and he's got a very good name, so he should continue.
Yeah. Great name.
Yeah. So, what do you think of him?
I really liked him. In fact, today I was looking on, because these years have been really strange. I was like, did Watchmen come out last year or the year before?
It came out ages ago, didn't it?
I know. And I was just like, I wonder. And then it came out ages ago. Well, 2 years ago, not ages.
But it feels like that feels like a long time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so then I saw him. I was like, I can't put him because he was great in it as well. So I kind of thought about him in my list today. Yeah, no, he's great. I like him.
Cool. Who have you got at number 4?
My number 4 is an actor which has just turned into actor, singer in the first place, and now actor, Alana Heim in Licorice Pizza.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, I really like her in this film, and I really liked her performance. And I spent quite a bit thinking about her in this film because I think she was so natural in it, and so it was kind of like her part, and she played it really well. And I'm amazed that she didn't get a nomination for Best Actress.
I know. I'd have really thought she'd have been sort of nailed on for one. And I think people assumed she was. I think people thought Licorice Pizza was going to get way more sort of Oscar buzz than it did.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And so, but I thought she was amazing in it. And as a first film, she carried it. And every time she was on screen, she was mesmerizing.
Yeah.
So I really liked her in this film, and I think I think about her in this film, and I'm like, oh, that's the best part of Licorice Pizza, Alana Heim.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's my number 4.
I like it. It's good. Yeah, she's wonderful in that film. And you think about like Paul Thomas Anderson is like that's a director that's worked with Daniel Day-Lewis a couple of times.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman quite a lot.
Yeah.
He's worked with some incredible, really respected actors, and to kind of put her at the front and center of a film is kind of a bit, not a risk for him necessarily, but is quite a big deal for her, and she rises to that occasion really well, and that just works. It's brilliant. She's fantastic in it. Good choice. Okay. My number 4 is also an actor that is in The White Lotus. But I've gone with the person who sort of surprised me the most over the course of the series, along with Murray Bartlett, and that is Sydney Sweeney as Cassie Howard, who, because I've also seen her for the first time in Euphoria this year, because I haven't watched Euphoria before. So a combination of her in Euphoria and her in The White Lotus, I just think she's seems quite effortlessly, naturally just good at playing these characters that she's playing, particularly in, like, she plays such a sort of deeply flawed and unpleasant teenager in The White Lotus, and she does such a great job in that show of navigating the kind of ins and outs of particularly her relationship with her best friend in it. And I just thought she was really memorable. And like the scenes where she's really horrible to Alexandra Daddario as well, I think she just plays them really well, and just generally is great. So Sydney Sweeney. And she's really good in Euphoria as well, from what I've seen.
Have you managed to see the second season?
I haven't yet, no. But I will. I'll get to it.
There's a little bit more fun in the second season than in the first.
Yeah, there's a lot.
The first season is very like...
There's a lot of tears and things.
Yeah. Oh, no, in the second season, there's a lot of tears, especially from Sydney Sweeney. You'll see a different performance from her in this season. But
interesting.
Yeah.
But there's an episode of Euphoria, the first season, where it sort of tells the story of her, the last time she saw her father. And just good stuff. So that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is an actor that is in Euphoria and is Zendaya that plays Rue Bennett in Euphoria.
Nice. And MJ in Spider-Man No Way Home. And
MJ,
Blue-Eyed Girl in Dune.
Blue-Eyed Girl in Dune. Probably the best performance in Dune, but I think her performance in Euphoria, in one of the episodes that I talked about, where it's basically just her having issues with her addiction, just completely set her in a different acting world for me, and I think she's great and she's amazing. Very busy. She does everything.
Yeah, she is busy.
You see her everywhere.
Yeah, she's got a good work ethic.
But, so carry on like that. And now that her partner has retired from acting for a while, she can Maybe he just wants to spend some
Do you know,
quality time with her.
I'm not. I don't want to talk about that.
But maybe like normal people do need a break sometimes.
Yeah,
Like I need a break from my job right now, but I don't have the money or the means of an actor, so I can't.
exactly. So that's fine. I don't want to know about it. Shut up about it. Not you. Don't. No, I don't mean you.
Yeah.
If you need a break, you can tell me about
Oh,
it.
you hate me.
I don't care if Tom Holland wants a break. He can take a break without telling the world he's taking a break. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime a celebrity announces a temporary retirement or whatever, it's just stupid nonsense. Except for Bruce Willis, that's very sad news, and I'm really upset about it.
Oh, I know. That's terrible. I feel sad for him.
Do you know how many direct-to-video movies he's made in the past 2 years?
No.
23.
Oh my
Do you know-
god. Oh, he's been very busy.
Do you know how many movies Daniel Day-Lewis has made in his entire career?
How many?
21.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Apparently Bruce Willis had a stipulation in his contract that he wasn't allowed to be on set for more than 2 days for any of those films, and he wasn't allowed to work for more than 8 hours a day, although in reality that was actually 4 hours a day. So he was making movies in 8 hours. And I think, I don't know, maybe you have to question his management team for thinking that that was an acceptable way to treat somebody who is quite clearly not well. And I'm glad that he's now, seemingly able to rest.
Yeah. But why did he make so many movies?
I don't know. He's not said publicly. You could hazard a guess that maybe he knew that he was getting sick and wasn't going to be able to work for much longer, and maybe he wanted to make hay while the sun shone, as it were, and make as much money as possible before he wasn't able to make money anymore. To have stuff to leave for his family, to have I don't know, stuff to live on. Maybe he has debts, who knows? But I think he was getting $2 million per film, so he's that's $46 million potentially over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Not a terrible payday.
No.
But I'm glad that he's stopped if he's not well. It's good that he's decided to stop. Yeah. But moving on.
Who's number 3?
My number 3 is a TV, again a TV performance, or at least a Netflix performance, and it is my current favourite comedian, the person who can make me laugh with almost any line that comes out of his mouth, and it is Tim Robinson. His performance in the second season of I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, which is the funniest thing on TV.
I think you should leave.
No, I'm not going to leave. I'm staying right here. I love Tim Robinson. I think he is this perfect sort of hidden gem that Netflix have found and made the right choice in giving him his own show. And I just think he's incredible. I think that he's very funny. The way he delivers lines is just able to tickle me every single time he does it. And I watch his show over and over again. And I think they recently announced that he's making a show for HBO called Computer School, where it's like him and his uncle are going to go. It's a sitcom where he goes to computer school with his uncle or something, and that sounds brilliant. And I'm here for anything that Tim Robinson is going to do because he's the best. So that's my number 3.
Interesting. It is good though. Like it is. I'm just not very good with the cringe. My number 2. My number 2 is a performance that I already spoke about in this episode, and I feel like he should have won Best Actor in the Oscars or anywhere else, and that's Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom.
Tick, Tick, Boom.
And of course, in The Eyes of Tammy Fay, but the one that I thought was really and I keep forgetting Spider-Man is time to go home.
That's what it's called. Don't wear it out.
It's dinner time.
Spider-Man dinner time.
It's a Spider-Man dinner
Spider-Man,
time.
get your little butt in here now and eat these chips, Spider-Man.
Eat this little bun of bread. And yeah, I think he's great. He's a versatile actor. He's just the 3 films that we have talked about. He plays 3 completely different people, and they do look like 3 completely different people. And although in Tammy Faye he did use a lot of makeup, but in Tick Tick Boom he didn't use any makeup, and it still wasn't the same person as the Peter Parker in Spider-Man. Great actor. I'm gonna watch more of his films because he's
Are you going to watch his Spider-Man films?
yeah. My cat. Just a moment.
My cat. My cat.
I'm gonna watch his Spider-Man films. I'm gonna watch all of his films because I've become a fan.
Good stuff.
Fan.
There's a bit, I've not watched Tick Tick Boom, but there's a bit on Netflix where you hover over Tick Tick Boom. The thing, you know, when you hover over something on Netflix, it shows you a little clip.
Yeah.
The little clip it shows of Tick Tick Boom is him just yelling, "I've been trying to write a song for a week," and it always makes me laugh because out of context it sounds really funny to have somebody just yelling that. But no, he's great. I love Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah, maybe we should do an Andrew Garfield special once you've watched the Spider-Man movies and I've watched The Eyes of Tammy Fay and Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Who?
Hacksaw Ridge. It's a Mel Gibson World War II movie that Andrew Garfield starred in. But,
I don't think I want to watch that.
it's meant to be very good.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays a
If you say so.
soldier who was a pacifist, refused to hold a gun, but dedicated himself to dragging injured soldiers off the battlefield and saving their lives, and ended up being considered a war hero, despite never having fired a gun. No, I've not seen it, but the story sounds interesting, and I would like to see it. But I think it's one of those movies that's very long, so I never sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Too long.
Yeah, well, that's your number 2.
Your number 2.
My number 2 is
Yes.
an actress who I love and have loved in everything I've seen her in, and particularly in the past year, her starring role in the sitcom Kevin Can F Himself endeared her to me even more. And it is Annie Murphy, who I think is absolutely fantastic in everything she's done, and she's great in Schitt's Creek, and she was great in Kevin Can F Himself, which I think I liked more than you or anyone else I know who's watched it, and maybe it's because of my...
I like Kevin Can F Himself.
No, I know you did, but I think I thought it was like a master... I don't know. I really like sitcoms and the art of making sitcoms and thinking about sitcoms, and like that show is such a sort of deconstruction of traditional American sitcom stuff that I really fell for it. I loved it. No, I wasn't trying to imply that you didn't like it. I just meant that I really loved it, and I think she does such a good, like, she's asked to do such a tricky thing in that show of like veering within scenes between the like multi-camera sitcom style and then the single camera sort of drama Breaking Bad-esque style, and she does it. All the actors that are asked to do that do it effortlessly, but she just does great work, and I love that show, and I love her, and I hope we see much more of her in the future. Annie Murphy, well done.
Oh, is a new season of Kevin Can F Himself going to come out?
At some point, yes. Yeah, I think they've already said it's only going to have 2 seasons, I think.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's something that could go on for any longer.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they've said that
I think it'll get. Yeah,
they're going to wrap it up.
I think it'll get a little bit too much.
What's your number 1? What could possibly be better than Andrew Garfield?
It's an actor of a film that we're going to do a special on in the next couple of weeks, and her name is Renate Reinsve, and she is Julia in the film The Worst Person in the World.
She's the titular worst person in the world.
She's the worst person in the world. And I loved the performance, and I think I need to see more of her because, like, she's got the effortlessness.
The effortlessness.
Effortlessness. How do you say it?
The effortlessness.
The effortlessness of somebody that is just meant to act and make you feel things that you didn't know you felt before, and carry a film like The Worst Person in the World in the best way possible. And with just the expression in her face, and I think she's incredible, amazing. Love her.
Agreed. She's amazing in that movie, and we'll talk about it much more. But yeah, she's good, and
Yeah.
she's a carpenter in real life as well. Apparently,
Is
yeah.
she?
She almost gave up acting and was just going to be a full-time carpenter, and then the director of this movie sort of got in touch and cast her in it and stuff. And I imagine we'll be seeing much more of her as a result because she is incredible in it. Good choice for number one. I like it. She's wonderful. Okay, are you ready for my number one?
Yeah.
Okay, my number one is another Netflix actor. Has given, in my opinion, the best performance of the past year by some distance. I thought that his performance in this TV show was astounding. And like, you look through this guy's filmography and he's never done anything like this before, and I don't know where he found the sort of voice and where he found the energy that he brings to this role, but it's pretty amazing. The actor is Hamish Linklater, and he plays Father Paul in the Netflix series Midnight Mass. And
I still need to watch that one.
And he just there are these sequences in Midnight Mass where he is giving a sermon. Because he's playing a priest, so he's giving sermons at the church, and these are extended monologues, 5, 6, 7 minutes long, and you can't look away. You can't stop looking at it. Like, he just commands the screen. It's the most charismatic performance I've seen in such a long time, and I just think that it's sort of this almost impossible thing that nothing should be able to be this well done, but he's done it, and I just love it. And a lot of it comes down to the writing from Walt Flanagan. Is it Walt Flanagan? Midnight Mass? Yeah, Walt Flanagan, right? Mike Flanagan. Walt Flanagan. Mike Flanagan. The writing from Mike Flanagan and stuff makes it, helps, but Hamish Linklater's performance is just stunning. So there we go. That's my number one.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
Okay, so my top 5 are Murray Bartlett. Murray Bartlett?
Murray Bartlett.
Murray Bartlett. Okay, so my number 5 is Murray Bartlett. Number 4, Alana Heim. Number 3, Zendaya. Number 2, Andrew Garfield. And number 1, Renate Reinsve.
Lovely. 5 people with 9 names between them.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
Sorry.
Don't confuse me today. It is not the day.
My top 5 was number 5, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, number 4, Sydney Sweeney, number 3, Tim Robinson, number 2, Annie Murphy, and number 1, Hamish Linklater.
Nice.
Honourable mentions?
Honourable mentions.
Honourable
So, I've got a few. Can I say them all?
Go on.
Okay. Maria Zegler, West Side Story. I thought she was great in it. I've already spoken about it. Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog. And, of course, Doctor Strange. Jude Hill in Belfast. Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah. Léa Seydoux in The French Dispatch.
Oh, yes.
Timothée Chalamet and Rebecca Ferguson in Dune. I can't believe Rebecca Ferguson did not get nomination there, but that's the Oscars. Nicolas Cage in Pig, in Ncuti Gatwa playing Eric F. Young in Sex Education. Ho Yeon Jung in Squid Game playing Kang Se Byok. Lakeith Stanfield in Atlanta, and Takayuki Yamada in The Naked Director.
Nice stuff. Good choices. I've got some. First of all, I was going to pick somebody from this show and then couldn't because I kind of like everyone in it equally. And so I've got Best Ensemble Sex Education.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone's great in that. But
You did better than me. That's amazing.
What do you mean?
No, yeah, I should have said that.
Well, I mean...
Because they're amazing, all of them.
Eric is very good, but I just think they're all They're all great.
Yeah.
And then I've got Zendaya, who's in June, Euphoria, Spider-Man No Way Home, as you mentioned. Willem Dafoe for his performance in Spider-Man No Way Home. Marissa Tomei for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, she's so good, right? Timothée Chalamet, Dune, The French Dispatch. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story, correctly given an Oscar. Mads Mikkelsen for his performance in Another Round, I thought was great. McKenna Grace in Ghostbusters Afterlife is incredible. Alex Wolff in Pig and the Beach That Makes You Old. Millicent Simmons in A Quiet Place Part 2. Thomasin McKenzie in The Beach That Makes You Old and Last Night in Soho. Anya,
Why is it called The Beach That Makes You Old? Isn't it just called Old?
it's called The Beach That Makes You Old.
Okay.
Anya Taylor-Joy, Last Night in Soho, and The Queen's Gambit. That's too old, but yeah, she's great in everything she does. Alexandra Daddario in The White Lotus. Sophia Di Martino in Loki. Owen Wilson in Loki.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen in WandaVision. Melanie Linsky, New Zealand actress, in Yellow Jackets and Don't Look Up. Sophie Thatcher in Yellow Jackets and The Book of Boba Fett. And Hayley Steinfeld in Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about her.
She's pretty great. Yeah, so are we setting each other some homework from these top fives?
Yeah. So, I think you watched everything. No, you haven't watched Tick Tick
I
Boom.
haven't, so I need to watch that.
Yeah, watch Tick Tick Boom, please.
Okay. You've seen everything other than Candyman and Midnight Mass, and I would like to watch Midnight Mass, even if it's just the first episode.
Okay, Midnight Mass. Okay.
Yeah. And have you got any recommendations from your culture catch-up for people? What's the one thing you would say, or two things you would say people should watch or check out?
You should watch Tick Tick Boom and listen to the album from a Japanese rock band, Brayme, and the album is called Grace Note.
Lovely stuff. And I'm going to recommend that people should watch the Nan movie and Morbius.
Why?
No, just joking. They're terrible. Don't watch them. No, do watch the Nan movie and do watch Morbius because they're both fascinating. Bad, but for a genuine recommendation of a good time that you could have, The Lost City and Ambulance are both really fun. But the Nan movie, I mean, come on.
Is it amazing?
Well, I feel like the Nan movie is on the precipice of becoming the new The Room or Birdemic or Sharknado in terms of how fascinatingly terrible it is. Like I could see myself watching the Nan movie again in order to demonstrate to somebody just how bad it is. The Nan movie, I mean, my God. Jokes about her grandson being gay in 2022.
The thing is, she could have made a better film with the Nan in it. Like, she didn't have to make a crap film.
She's a talent. She is. I mean, Catherine Tate's a talent. She's funny, but she's not a good writer. Maybe she's a funny performer, but I don't know if she's good at writing stuff. Could that be it? Because I've seen her be good in things that she hasn't written, but whenever there's a show coming out on Netflix called Hard Sell, which stars her as a load of different characters in like a women's prison, and that's a comedy. That'll be interesting to see what that's like. Yeah,
Who knows?
But the Nan movie. Right. Well, hang on. Oh. That was episode 67.
You're okay.
Yeah, that was episode 67 of the Culture Bucket podcast, our top five, our 2022 performance review. Join us next week for episode 68, where we'll be doing a special episode dissecting, pulling apart and talking about the Nan movie. So join us next week for that.
What are you talking about? first of all, it's never going to come to this country, the Nan movie. Can you imagine if it arrived in Italy and they translate it? Come
Hey,
on.
but the Nan is here. Say arrivederci to the Nan movie.
No.
Ciao.
That's not
Ciao.
what's going to happen.
Ciao, Nan.
Ciao.
So, what would it be called in? What would the Nan movie translate to in Italian?
La nonna?
La Nonna.
La nonna?
La Nonna. What?
Sì.
What's the movie in Italian?
La nonna il film?
La Nonna e film.
Sì.
Okay, join us next
Yeah.
week for episode 68. We're going to be pulling apart, dissecting, reviewing, and analysing the 2022 Oscar nomination for Best International Film from Norway, The Worst Person in the World, starring currently Alex's favourite actor.
Yeah.
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 So please do join us back again for that. Please get in touch with us if you have any questions or lists of your own or requests for lists for us to do or special episodes for us to do. You can email us on culturebucketpodcast@gmail.com, and you can find the links to all of our social media channels in the show notes for this and every episode. Please do come and join us on Instagram, which is where we're most active. And we look forward to spending more time with you in the future. Please find and rate and review us on all your podcast apps of choice, and tell all your friends about us and help us grow a little bit. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Love you. Love you.